Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Chaitra Vedullapalli, and with me I have Vinay Kumar. We both are from Meylah, and today the topic that we will be discussing is how to rock your online events with Microsoft Teams Live and Speaker Engage. I am really excited, Vinay. Are you excited to be here today?
I'm super excited to be here. Isn't it
Yeah,
fantastic? We are collaborating again. The last time we spoke, it was on integrated marketing performance analytics. And now we are talking about such an important topic, which is like Teams Live plus, how are we going to rock the event? Yes, amazing and happy to be here.
absolutely. So today, when we are having a conversation, we want every one of you to take a moment to talk about an important question that I have. It's an icebreaker, so you can go into the chat box and have a discussion. Is things you would do if money was not an issue? Vinay, what about you? What would you do if money was not an issue?
Don't ask me that, Chaitra. Uh, I'm a big film buff. So if money was not an issue, I would have just been probably experimenting and directing few movies, right? Like that's my passion, and probably I would want to do that once I have enough money to do it.
Yeah, if money was not an issue, I would be spending a lot of time teaching kids on entrepreneurship. I love being with the kids and spending time and really empowering them to see a world that they can do anything. So that would be my dream come true. So I would love to be like Funsuk Wangru if I could.
No, that is still you, Chaitra, because I have seen you always creating access and helping the community. Yeah, that's so you. Let's see if we have got some responses in the chat to see if there's anything. No. So should we go ahead with the agenda?
Absolutely. So let's do this one. Today's agenda is a fun agenda we have put together. One is how to build a virtual event game plan, but especially around how to make your technology selection for your virtual events. Then you will understand how to think about Teams Live meeting and also Speaker Engage. So you have an understanding of that. So you should never be afraid of using Teams Live after that. And then we'll go into a lot of demos around how to schedule and produce your Teams event, how to think about your branding of your Teams event, how to plan and also manage your events with Speaker Engage. Especially as a producer, you don't want to spend a lot of time on Excel spreadsheets. So how do you automate that? How do you digitally transform your events, especially around planning? And then we will present how to present in Teams or meetings, and then how to think about promoting Teams event via the Microsoft channels. If you're using, what are the best ways? And then we have some common questions that we will address it for you. Going to a little bit about us, Meylah's really the mission is to create access to digital opportunities for companies, big or small. And the way we do it is through the digital transformation of your business. So if you have anything on paper or Excel and you're doing business, we will automate that for you and help you think about that. The second thing we look at is events transformation and really helping you think about digitally transforming your events with the modern technologies, especially cloud, and thinking about how to adopt it. And then really working on strategic partnerships to scale your business and reach newer markets and newer communities. And as we look at with the pandemic, one of the shift that has happened in the event is everything has become virtual. So, and we are anticipating for the next 24 months, we will have a lot of virtual events till, the restrictions go away. But as you're thinking about a virtual event, there are two concepts that I want you to think about. One is your website is your new venue. So anything that you do with virtual event, the new venue, which is your website, which is your landing page, has to be compelling, connected, feels welcoming. You just don't want to write too much content on that page. So the landing page is very, very crucial. And the second piece is streaming is your new stage. And the stage is where how you think about your streaming technologies are very important. And that is what we will be spending today, which is around the Teams Live. That is the technology we will be discussing, is how to think about that streaming of your event using Teams Live. So as you think about doing your virtual events, this is our methodology. It's called as GPE, like how do you get your game plan developed, your programming and execution. So when you think about your game plan, you need to think about your strategy, your budget, your content, speakers and sponsors, marketing and technology. That is very important in your game plan development. It may take sometimes a day, sometimes it takes weeks. And recently we are working on the Women in Cloud Summit for January, and it's a 3-day. And the strategy work itself is taking over like a week and a half to really get there and thinking about the budgets. So it's really, whether it's one webinar, it would be easier. But if you're thinking a 3-day, 2-day event, it is complex. You need to think about it. The second one is programming. How do you program with your technology setups, especially your registration, your landing page, your social media promotion, and speaker readiness? Those are all very important part of the programming. And the third one is the execution, which is the day of the event, which is whether it's a technical support or a moderator or a speaker liner. How do you make that seamless? And once it's done, how do you do the post-event recording and content available to your audience? So having this clarity on a piece of paper will make your life very easy as you execute your events. So the first topic, Vinay, we will talk about is picking your technology. How about, talk to me about when people reach out to you, what kind of questions do they ask you?
Well, a lot of people are worried, really mostly about, hey, should I be using this platform or should I be using this platform? What are the pros? What are the cons? Is it all about cost? How should I, evaluate the platform that I should be using for my virtual events, right? But I think you have a better answer, Chaitra. So, yeah.
Yeah, so exactly what you said is technology selection has been really a lot of difficulty for a lot of the event organizer because they've been spending a lot of time on the offline events, and you could really manage through Excel spreadsheets and you had a production team to do it. But when you think about the virtual event, it's really an art and science. So art in the sense is you need to know how to engage your audience and how to get them excited. And the science is how to pick the technology so it's seamless. Because when you do virtual, it's not one platform. You're looking at 5, 6, 7 different technologies to manage. So you want to streamline everything. So that is what the art and science looks like. And it's really a digital transformation of your events is what you're looking at when you're picking your right technology. So the way we look at it when we are doing our events, whether it's a 10 people event or 1,000 people event, or maybe a 2,000 people event, we look at 3 core areas. One is access. Are we giving access to our attendees easily? It has to be a single sign-on or one login instead of multiple logins, and the attendees are confused, the speakers are confused, the sponsors are confused. So you want to make the access as simple as possible. And that is one of the decision criteria for us. Second is connection. Are we driving infinite connections within our attendees and speakers and sponsors? So there's a rich opportunity creation happening. And can the technology allow us to do it so we don't have to send them 10 different places and get them lost? And the third one is planning and execution. Do we have the right tools to plan and execute the event across a distributed teams so that everybody feels connected and there's not one a point of failure, and that is the producer? So having the technologies to do is very important. So we really focus a lot on not having too much Excel spreadsheet dependency and too many folders, because if you do that one, the production of your event becomes extremely slow, and then you won't be able to achieve the goals around is your revenue goals, the reach goals, and the impact goals that you're trying to do with your events. So when we look at the selection areas for technology, we look at 4 core areas. One is streaming, which is ease of execution. Are we looking at Teams Live or Zoom, AirMeet or Remo for networking and connection? So it's very important is what technology you're using. Planning and managing, we actually use our own technology. That's the reason why we build Speaker Engage to manage our speakers, agenda, social media, emails, and resources all in one single place so we can actually lose the dependency on the Excel piece. And then is the audience recruitment is through how are we recruiting the audience? If you are using the Microsoft Teams Live, you can actually get into the Microsoft network, and there's all ways of listing your events, community networks, LinkedIn events, promotion, either sharing and promoting. And then we are looking at is your virtual virtual stage or venue, and then you're looking at WordPress and Unbound, so that the pages that you create are beautiful in there. So when you think about your technology selection, I would look at this one as a high level quick, like when you're thinking about Teams Live, really great for less complex event execution, must have a technical support and a technical producer. That is a very important requirement, which is with the Teams Live that you have to think about. It is free if you have license to the Teams, and you can host as many live sessions and meetings. They have a built-in chat and Q&A, which we'll talk about today. And the live session, it can go up to 20,000 users, so you can scale. There's a typo, so it should be 20,000 users. And for branding, we have is a speaker background and PowerPoint that allows you to background and your landing pages. There's there's no email reminders, but you can export the list. Whereas when you think about AirMeet, you have to license for 1 year. Great for experience when you're really getting that leadership events and you want to meet with people, and you do need an event producer. It makes sense to purchase this particular technology if you're hosting 3 to 5 events a year. It does have built-in registration, streaming, networking, chat, and Q&A. They do have an exit page customization and event branding. You can also export the chat, you can send email reminders, and you can also do attendee lists export. And with regards to Zoom, most of you should already know about it because it's a very simple technology, but you still have to license for a year, and it's great for somebody who is neck new into hosting events, but it also has some really good technology capability. So that's kind of how you think about is your technology selection. Now going to the second section, which we will go into a lot of demos now, but the first piece is how to plan and manage events. Vinay, what are the things that you think like has to be done for planning and managing events, in your opinion? And then we'll talk about how we are going to do the demo.
Sure. Planning takes the most of it because, you need to understand who are going to be your speakers, what is the topic. You need to know what date you're going to do the event, and a whole lot of things that go in terms of the planning itself. And once you have the plan ready, you will have to effectively communicate with your target audience. It could be attendees, it could be speakers, it also includes your sponsors, right? The right communication will ensure that you have proper attention from your sponsors. You will have attendees who will join your events. Very, very important. So I think a whole lot of things that will go into it, Chaitra.
I completely agree, Vinay, that those are the kind of things you have to think about in the back end when you are a producer. So as you're thinking about is the challenges that we see as a producer, and if you feel like you hit any of these challenges, put it on your text and say, yes, I feel this pain, right? As an organizer and a producer, one of the big thing is curating your speakers and sponsor. That's like a nightmare when you think about managing through email and spreadsheets. It's a nightmare. So if you feel it's a nightmare, say, yes, I feel the pain. And most of the people don't even do events because of they cannot curate the speakers properly, right? Because it takes a lot of effort. Second is the email communication, constantly creating emails through the event execution, preparing the contact list and scheduling those emails is overwhelming. I remember the first time I did the event, it was 15, 20 years ago, especially a big event. I was sending email to everyone and it didn't look good. People say, you're sending too many emails. So I had to really think about that whole concept of curating the email and sending in a way that people can take action and they get the right information at the right time. Our third one is content management, is seamlessly tracking all the content materials in the multiple folders that speaker and sponsors send is time consuming and stressful. And if you don't know you're constantly having new people on the team, teaching them how to onboard and get all access to the content is very hard. Follow-ups is extremely hard. Knowing is who to follow and when to follow is also a critical component for an organizer. Data compliance and security has become highlight right now. You have to implement PII and GDPR policy, and it's extremely difficult when you're managing in an Excel spreadsheet. And then succession planning, unable to create an effective succession planning with teams as they move on between the roles is it's one of the challenges. If you feel that way, let me know. It's like we feel it when we are doing it and constantly thinking about these challenges. So one of the goals that we will do the demo today is to really figure out is how to increase the team productivity and reduce the dependency on Excel. I know it's a radical idea, especially for an event producer, because they love Google Sheets and they love Excel, and how to reduce the dependency is one of the hardest thing. However, if we show you if you can still do Excel and you still can manage everything effectively using a cloud infrastructure, I'm hoping that it will transform your life as well as transform your events space as you're working through it. So what we are going to talk about is the speaker engage, is how you can remove the chaos from the event planning and execution with very minimal dependency on Excel. And then the way we will show you, which Vinay will talk about, is curating the curation process, how the effective workflow happens for data collection, the dashboards, centralized content management, and the data compliance, and also social media promotion, so you can see how to engage your audience, so you never have to create that promo kit ever again. It makes it very easy. So with that, Vinay, I will hand over the baton to you and go ahead and share some of the capabilities of capabilities, especially these ones, Vinay, which is how to look at the glance, your dashboard, email communication, speaker management, automated data workflow, agenda and session management, and then social media promo kit. Can you do that one? And then we'll go into the teams, which is all about streaming.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be happy to do that. Let me quickly share my screen and take you through the demo experience. Okay. One of the very, very important thing for a successful event is the planning, as you said, right? To plan, you need to have right set of tools that you can actually utilize while you're actually doing the event. It could be virtual event or it could be in-person event. You need to have right set of tools to reduce the burden and take out the chaos. And one of the very difficult things that people face when they use spreadsheets and other the normal tools that we use for calculation purposes and all of that is the team collaborations. How would a team can collaborate on a spreadsheet? It's very, very difficult. So with that, the speaker engage actually solves the problem. So multiple people can log in at the same time and access the same event experience, and then also look at the overall dashboard and gives you an idea of how all of the events are faring. So this is the main dashboard, or the I would say the organization dashboard, which talks about the number of events that you're currently managing and how many speakers are there on your platform, and how are you managing your sponsors, and how many emails communication that you have done and what you can do as well. And also it gives you the number of hours that you have saved by using the platform. So we will quickly look at some of the events that we have actually created here. So here is an event that is being created by our fellow friends at 3C Social Entrepreneurship Digital Academy. I'll go into this event, and what you get to see is an overall dashboard about this event to talk about. It could be like, let's say, you want to engage a speaker, you quickly need a application form for the speaker to fill in. So here what comes is the data automation, where you have your branded speaker application form that you can actually send out, and the speaker will fill in this form, and automatically that information will flow into your speaker engage, that particular event that you're actually managing. And also you have dashboards of different kinds: the speaker dashboard, the sponsor dashboard, and the master dashboard. Let's quickly take a look at the speaker dashboard, which is very key factor for the success of an event. I see that speakers play a very, very important role for any event to be successful. So if you take a look at this dashboard, you will see that there are totally 5 speakers at this event, and 5 of them are approved. And you will see what are the different stages. So let's say if somebody has just applied to be a speaker, they're still going through an evaluation. You will see them in contract, and also you have different types of opportunity, right? Let's say you are managing a much bigger event which has different experiences. Like it could be keynote, it could be power panel, it could be workshops. So you will see how many speakers are there in each of these different speaking opportunity. And you will also get to see the communication that you have done, and then if there are scheduled communication as well, you will see that. And here are a few things that you would like to manage. One is that, let's say, you want to know how many speakers are there on your portal with a Twitter handle missing, or it could be the LinkedIn handle missing, because it's very important for your communication, right? You want to tag your speakers while you put out your social media post, or you would want to probably pick up your phone and call up the speaker and say, hey, you know what, I would need this, or probably let's do a speaker readiness session. So you need to have your data organized, and this tool actually gives you a complete CRM to manage your event as well as your speakers. So let's quickly take a look at under speakers. We have how we can manage speakers, right? Let's say you send out a form, and then the speaker completed only a partial section of the form, and then you would still require information. We have an option to check that what information is missing and request that information. For example, we have our own speaker, Chaitra Vedullapalli, who has just finished about 32% of the speaker application. Let's see how her profile looks up. So you see that she has not sent the picture, she has not sent the quote and the bio. The easy way to request is that just click request, and it opens up a dialog box where you can actually ask her to put in the headshot, bio, quote, and other information that could be required, probably on the social media. And once we have that, click send, and that would send out an email to Chaitra's email address with a link to fill up all of this information. And once she does that, it comes and gets the profile completed. Isn't that cool?
Absolutely, Vinay. And then talk about the notify piece. That is a pretty powerful capability when you have to notify certain information for the speaker. So go ahead and send me that email.
Yes. So it's the email communication is quite chaotic many a times, because you have multiple people who are working on the events, and every time you need to be CC'd, or you need to probably have a one common mailbox, or you are using some tool like a mail automation like Mailchimp or something to send out emails. But you don't have to do that. Our platform actually takes care of most of the things. So if I have to send out an email to Chaitra, I just have to click notify, and that opens up the dialog box. Chaitra is already an approved speaker, so I can see her status as approved. Now we have several email templates. I'll also just show you a glance of how the email templates can be created. So I'll choose one of the email templates that's already ready, so that I don't have to type in that. So just choose the first email, which is Digital Academy Session 1. I'll click that. I have the email ready. So you also have an option of changing the email subject, also adding the email address of the speaker manager if they have, or CC somebody, like, put a carbon copy so that that can be sent out. So you have few options again, like, you can do a quick edit, and then you can send it right away or you can send it later. So I will just send it. Yeah, that's it. So Chaitra has got that email. Uh, it's as simple as that. And probably, let's say, if you want to notify, let's say, multiple speakers at once, you don't have to really worry about it. We have something called bulk notify, where you would be able to, like, let's say, send a common communication to multiple speakers at once. So I want to, like, send out an email to all the speakers who are in the breakouts. Just choose breakouts, and I just have to choose the email template, and send out the email to all of the peoples under the breakouts. So it's as simple as that. It completely takes away your stress and also your chaos in terms of email communication.
And Vinay, talk about the email creation, the email template management, so that way everyone can see how to even create all these emails.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do that. So it's pretty simple, and it just takes away literally few minutes to do that. And one thing that you need to note is that Speaker English already comes with some of the most important templates built in, so that you don't have to, like, really start from the scratch. You can use some of the templates which are already there. You can edit them and use that as well. Or if you want to create new, just click create. If you have an email template that you created for a different event, you would be able to search from the database and then pull it from a different event, or just create from scratch. So let's say I create something from scratch. So I can create a template name. There is a template type, like, do you want to make it available for sponsor or speaker, or you want to just make it available for a sponsor list, or probably this is a general communication and has to go for everyone. You can choose that. You can give a nice subject for the email template. You can also make it available only for specific status. That means that you want to give it for approved speakers, or you want to give it for in-review speakers, so that you don't have to clutter your communication, right? So you can choose that status as well. There is an option of, like, adding the event banner. Just double click that and choose the banner from your desktop that you want to, like, add the banner. Customize your body of the message and save it. And that template can be used for all of your communication, whether it's going to be one-on-one communication with your speakers, sponsors, or any of your contact, or it could be a bulk notification that you want to do.
Fantastic, Vinay. I like that because, it has saved hours and hours of this email creation process into more streamlined. And not only that, we are also able to see is how is the open rate of these emails. So if you go to the dashboard, Vinay, and look at the emails that was sent for the master community, and you can see what's the traction on it, right? So
Sure.
So you sent me here, but I've not opened. So let me do is I'll open that email. So
Right.
that
Yeah, it will take about a minute to track your open Chaitra, but by then, let me quickly go to the masters and see how many emails we have sent for this particular event and how many opens has happened. So it's easier. So Chaitra, you won't believe it. Like, this particular event, we have sent over 1,631 emails, and then 701 emails have been opened. Isn't that
awesome.
cool?
Awesome. And can you quickly touch on the event agenda and the social media planner so we can get into the team lives portion of the demo?
Yes, I know. Speaker Engage is such a, like, a mighty application. Like, if we start demoing each feature. We will probably take away a lot of time. So let's quickly jump into the event agenda, which is a very important piece for any event, right? So without an event agenda, you wouldn't be able to host any event. And then we have made it quite simple and also very utilitative. That means that you would be able to use this agenda anywhere. So let me quickly show you how the agenda looks like. So there is the event was hosted on June 27th. That was a Saturday. We had only quick three things to do. One was a moderating event, that's a virtual event, and there was a power talk, and then also there was a power panel. And you have an who are the speakers. So if you have their profile pictures, it will show up here so that you don't have to really go hover on the icon and see who it is. But yes, it's very easy to see the agenda. Now you have two options. One, this is the which is the expanded view. You can also do bunch of things here. Once your event agenda is set, let's say if you want to communicate with these speakers, you have an option of notify. You also have an option of request. That means that if you want to request a PowerPoint, you want to request any information from these speakers, you can do a request. And very, very important is that you may also need to schedule something on the calendar once you have your agenda prepared. So you click schedule, that will shoot off on, what do you say, it will block their calendars on their Outlook, on their Gmail, whatever they use for their daily email. So their calendars are also blocked. I will also quickly show you a simple view, quite simple, uncluttered view of the event agenda. There is an introduction, there are SMART goals, and product planning.
And Vinay, talk about the view agenda, because that allows the organizers to work with their team to really see how the agenda is getting prepared, so they can keep track of which agenda is actually ready and not ready.
Exactly. So once your event agenda is in preparation, you can click share agenda. That opens up a new window, which is actually a public link that you can share with your team members. It could be speakers, and ask them if they need any changes to this. And also, if you don't want to share as a link, you can download the agenda as PDF and share with anyone. Right? That's as simple as that. And one more important thing, Chaitra, is that we can also export this event agenda in the form of a spreadsheet and use to make it edits as well. Yeah. If you're a heavy spreadsheet user, you might need those kind of options as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the last one, touch a couple of minutes on the social media planner, especially around automating the promo kit for the attendees, because that is what everybody needs to promote the event with their community, and how it has made so simple with the technology.
Absolutely. Right. Very important aspect of every event is how you market it. Since all of the events are virtual, I'm sure you cannot market it physically anymore. The only way that you can bring in audience to your events is through digital marketing. And very key feature of digital marketing is the social media marketing. And we have made that campaign management quite simple as well. So you can create multiple campaigns for your event. You can define what is the campaign name, when it is going to start, what day it is going to end, how many posts have been created, and how many have been published on social media, and what are your campaign goals, and who is going to be the owner. All of that can be defined here in the campaign management. You have two views. If you like a card view, this is what the card view looks like. You can also switch to a list view if you want more detailed information. If you like something which is going to be presented as a form of a spreadsheet. This is the campaign management. Let's quickly go into the calendar, where we have some of the posts that have been created. And you can use this as your promo kit to show it to other people as well. I'll choose this campaign, which is the digital act on business fair, where we have some of the two posts that has been created. You see that this post was particularly created for Facebook. This particular one was created for Facebook and Instagram. Now you can take the embed code and put it up on your website so that anybody who is coming to your website can see this post and then they can start sharing. Or we also have a public sharing page that you can simply share this link, and from here they can see all of the beautiful posts that you're making and start sharing it onto their social streams. That means you're amplifying all of the traffic that is coming to your social media streams. Isn't that cool?
Yep, yep. And also, what it did was make it easy for the community and the attendees and speakers to start sharing the content in a way without us sending constantly, share this, share that, because, they won't open the email, but providing this particular link and providing this as an evergreen content for them to share makes it really easy, because now they can pick whichever content they need, they can customize a bit, and they should be able to share on the LinkedIn, Insta, or Facebook. So Vinay, this one was good. So if you can allow me to share the slides, and we can go into the Teams Live piece of the section. So thank you for doing that, going into the depth of the planning piece, because most of the people do not see, planning as a skill, but it is really a master skill. And if you know how to plan effectively and execute effectively, everything becomes easier, right? That's a master skill most of the top-notch, producers do. So that's kind of, it is for helping everyone to become like a master producers in the events, as we are all sitting just in a different places, not able to interact with each other. These kind of technologies allow us to come together. Now, coming to the streaming component of it, which is the Teams Live piece, which Vinay, I would love you to talk through in the Teams piece, is how to produce, present, brand, and engage the attendees. And I will navigate the slide and you can talk through that. Sounds good?
Yes, sounds good, Chaitra.
Yep. So first talk about, Teams Meeting and Teams Live. What are those differences? Because most of them get confused between these two capability that is available in Teams.
Okay. So first of all, Chaitra, Teams is such a powerful collaboration tool that Microsoft has come up with. I can't believe that we have reduced our email communication significantly just because we use Teams, right? And with that, what also comes with Teams is you can have your meetings and then make them live. So this is very useful. Like, let's say if you want to bring in a lot of interaction in your event, and it allows every attendee to have a communication with the speaker. For example, let's say we have two or three people who are talking, but rest everybody also need to have their voice to be they have to voice their opinion. Teams meeting is a great example of doing that, and it's a two-way voice, video chat, all of that is possible. And then you can simultaneously have up to about 250 attendees, and can be great for it could be an event like an annual general meeting, or it could be even a town hall, all of this, because you would need people to ask you questions. So that's where Teams meeting comes handy. And Teams live event is where you are taking a position of a thought leader, where you want to have speakers give most of the information, and have people watch it. That's where the Teams live event comes up. And then there are certain interactions that are possible, because you don't see the attendees, but still you can take questions from them. These questions can be taken up, curated by the producer of the live event, and passed it on to the speakers, and then they can answer them, and those can be heard by the attendees as well. So this is the major difference between a Teams meeting and the Teams live event. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, great differentiation, Vinay. This is excellent. The second one is talk about how the production of the event happens, especially the team live. Talk about, because there are a lot of things you have to think about. So go ahead and talk about that.
First thing is that the scheduling is very important. You need to know when you are producing the event. If you know the date, time, and then if you're organized with all of those information, head to the Microsoft Teams. On the top right corner, you have an option of creating a live event. If you choose that, you need to put in few information like what the event is all about and who are going to be the presenters. You put in all of those information and create the event. One important thing you need to understand is that the people whom you are inviting are presenters, and then they are not the attendees. So once you create the event is once the attendee link is being produced, you can use that link to invite people. And one of the important things for the production is that you also need to have a event producer who is going to help manage your team's live event. It is very important because you cannot juggle around the slides. You cannot you should be managing the communication, and then the producer should be handling your slides and all of the interaction that's happening with the people, so that the effectiveness of the virtual meeting is in the highest order. That's what I wanted to say. And if you want to take this event and stream it on different platforms, Microsoft Stream platform is the platform to go for. You can do that. And then also you have third-party CDN networks that you can actually use to, let's say, if you want to stream it on Facebook, you want to stream it on YouTube, you can do that using all of the third-party CDN networks.
Yeah, this one was very helpful, Vinay. And was one question that came in is, how is the UI different for each of this technology and how easy it is to navigate around each? One of the thing I can say is the UI is different for each of the technology. If you go from Microsoft technologies to Zoom technology, everything is different. One of the goal for the event organizer is to pick their toolkit, which is important depending upon what you're trying to accomplish, and then master those tools and have it ready because you know what scenarios you are. Don't try to pick one technology for one. Really pick your toolkit and then master those tools and learn how to stitch all the pieces to create a very interactive and compelling experience for your audience. So that one is important, Vinay. And the same thing with Teams, you have to really know the technology, or you need to have somebody who knows the technology to help you accomplish it. If you already have Microsoft Teams, I would say start using it because it's free. You don't have to pay any other streaming technologies. So talk about how the producer and the presenter experience look like when it's done.
Right. So this is the interface that actually the speakers, the producers, and the presenters would be looking at. The audience will not be seeing all of it. So audience is actually looking at the live event where you are talking and then the slides. And if there is a co-host or if there is a co-event producer, they will see them. So at the bottom, what you see is you can manage your content. You can send the content live. That means that people will be able to see the slides at that time. And while you're speaking, they would be able to see you. That's how the producer and the presenter experience is. It's quite seamless. You would be able to put in all the slides in the PowerPoint presentation format or PDF format, or you can also do different things in terms of let's say you want to share your screen or you want to run a video. All of that is possible using Teams Live.
Thank you, Vinay. So now talk about the attendee experience and kind of the things that you can do with the interactivity within Teams Live.
Right. So the experience is beautiful. One of the beautiful experiences that I have come across is that the picture clarity and then the audio clarity is amazing. You can get it by doing two things. One is that Teams also supports an external app. That means that you can bring in a beautiful high definition camera, mic, and all of that, and connect it to your computer and then makes that make the team go live. That means that you can stream high quality video, and the audience will get to see that high quality video streamed, and they can also ask questions. That means that the session can be interactive. These questions are available for the presenter as well as the producer, and producer can actually pick these questions, curate, and pass it on to the presenter so that he can answer them. And that's how the Q&A experience is up. And I'm sure Microsoft is working on few more things, like the polls, and also like there is emoji, and all of that is coming.
Yeah, and one of the things which I loved is when people are writing the Q&A, you can actually say which Q&A can go live to all the attendees to see, so that, if there's anyone using, bad language or kind of angry or things like that, you can control it more effectively in the Teams live environment, which I love it, because then you can really figure out what's the right relevant questions that every attendee should be listening. That's a beautiful way of organizing your events interaction. And talk about the controls that are there, Vinay.
Yes, standard controls, but very important. Like, you get to very clearly see, are you live or not live? So if you're pre-live, that means that, you can speak with your presenter and discuss your strategy. The chat that is up there will be just an internal chat between you and the presenter. So that means that whatever you chat will not be shown to the audience. And once you are live, you have options of, like, even things like, having access to the Q&A and moderating the Q&A as well.
Yeah, and one thing that I can say is, Vinay, and for all the attendees, it looks like a Tesla, controls, beautifully done, easy to navigate. It's not complex like other tools that we have seen in the past, but this one is very well done control. So that's why we wanted to share with you why having the right controls and knowing what controls you have access to makes it really easy for you to execute your event.
Yep.
Okay, so then we go into a common question, Vinay. I know you wanted to give as a surprise exclusive offer for all the attendees today. Do you want to start with that? I'll do a drum roll and you can talk through that one of what you're offering today for everyone.
Yes, there is a big offer for everyone who is attending this event. You get to have a free ebook on how to rock your virtual events, completely designed by Chaitra. You are the first set of audience who are going to get it. And I'll also tell you how to get that. Plus, what we're also giving away is 100-day free trial of our Speaker Engage offer. Plus, in addition to it, you will get a 10% discount on your first year. You choose any of the 3 plans which are available on speakerengage.com, you get 10% discount. And on top of it, you're also getting Microsoft Teams 6 months free. So all of this is included. Very easy to do is that you head straight away to yourtakeaways.com/claim. Go to yourtakeaways.com/claim. Put in the passcode which you see on the screen, that is number 7, lucky number 7, K5P7V. You put in this code and answer 3 questions which are relevant to this event. And once you do that, you will get an email on how to claim your free ebook, how to claim your free 100-day trial on Speaker Engage plus 10% discount on your first year. How is that, Chaitra?
Fantastic. I love it. I would have taken that offer, right? So going to the things that, we always hear is now that we have her scheduled, we have put the webinar together, you have done the planning, what is the best way to advertise your webinar? Vinay, do you have some tips and tricks on this particular piece, which is advertising?
Multiple ways, Chaitra, multiple ways. Since we are all digital, the first thing is to reach out to your network and and send out an email to all of your networks, say talk about your webinar, this is the webinar that you're hosting, and these are all the good takeaways from the webinar, and they need to join the webinar. So that's first thing, is to reach out to your network, right? You can do it in multiple ways. One is the email, as I said, but the best tool for you to access is your LinkedIn. Go into your LinkedIn, talk about the webinar, have people talk about the topic as well, right? They can give you more insights onto that topic, and that could spark a conversation where those people can also attend your webinar. Make this event part of your email signature, because every day you communicate via email. Ensure that your email signature contains link to your webinar. And on top of it, there are many sites where you need to go and put up. It could be I would say there is meetups, there is uh, several online tools where you can actually go and advertise your webinar for free.
Yeah, and couple of ideas too, Vinay, to add is pick the right speakers. Don't pick speakers who are not an influencer in the network. Always have one speaker on your webinar that attracts the crowd. That's very important. And they have the largest influence. Second is association with the bigger brands, that they are saying that they are, I would say, providing access to their network. So when we do events with, brands, we always make sure we have a influential speaker. There is a brand who is associated with that event. And third is we actually create a content for a community that needs that content, right? So most of the companies now, for example, the reason why we created this particular webinar is most of the companies are adopting Teams, and they don't know how to use Teams Live and Teams Meeting. And what we wanted to do is work with our community to really make sure this particular education is available so you can actually execute it. And the last one is use the speaker network to really provide, ask them to send it to their network, because it's very important, and the speaker can bring in like 3 to 5 attendees into the session, and then they in turn will start inviting others into the session. So use the viral capability around the advertising your webinar. And the other thing, Vinay, which I have done, is I've gone into other communities and done like a plug for 2 to 3 minutes, saying, hey, we would love to invite you. Please come and join our events. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. So the second question which we have is how to design interactivity to engage attendees within your webinar. This is a question that we constantly get. Any ideas and tips that you have, Vinay?
It is, I would say, constantly engaging the attendees is very difficult. And one of the things that you'll have to do is that engage them in a meaningful conversation, right? For example, you need to have your content which is more audio visual. You need to ask them questions, give responses to that, and then also share some of the important resources with people who are attending your webinar, because you need to create value.
Absolutely.
What about you, Chaitra? What are the things that you would want to bring in interactivity with?
I like to drive the interaction before even they come to the event. The first one is doing some giveaways or interactivity, so they already feel engaged part of it. The second piece that I like to do is when they're in the experience, usually I'll have an icebreaker so that it allows common similarities between the attendees and the speakers and also the producer. So like when we opened the session, we actually had an icebreaker. So I usually like an icebreaker, which is more human-based, like it connects to everyone. And then really have is a panel conversation for me is very important, because you want different perspectives from each other to really get the point. I like demos, which I love demos, because I personally feel is when you do demos, people actually can transform their own business because they can see it. They can visually see, touch, and feel it without really playing with the tool, because they see somebody doing it, they're like, oh, I can totally do it. And the last one is making sure that there is a compelling offer and content available for them. So if now they want to move and transform themselves, you have created is a pathway for them to be successful. So every event I'm looking at is whether it's one attendee or 100 or 1,000, how am I transforming their experience so they can achieve their own North Star, their own goals? How do they go about it? And then create the events through that particular mindset. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. So now we are actually at the tail end. So do you have any questions? If you have, feel free to put it into the chat box so we can get that going. We are actually literally 5 minutes away from finishing this one. As you're typing your questions, I just want to kind of talk about is this one is another offer that we have is a make it offer. So pretty much end-to-end execution on Microsoft Teams, and it's within 6 weeks you will be able to launch it. We will help you with the end-to-end event execution, from setting up your webinar and then setting up your speaker engage so you're successful, really digitally transform your events, help you promote via the social and Microsoft channel, build your event go-to-market programming, which is around how to think about, reaching the audience, produce your event, and is a post-event video packaging. And with that, you also get is a 6-month free Microsoft Teams subscription and also a 100-day free trial of Speaker Engage, along with the 10% discount that Vinay talked about. It's really $7,000, but if you go out and try to get this one, it's pretty fairly expensive to put all the pieces together. So if you're interested, reach out to us. And the way you can get engaged is very simple. If you want to contact us for a 30-minute free consultation, feel free to do it. That way we can at least give you as a game plan of how to think about it, how to pick your technology. Second is, if there is an upcoming event that is happening, I would recommend you to share that one in the Speaker Engage directory. Once you share your event on the Speaker Engage directory, we actually promote within our network so that we can bring attendees for it. And the last one is download your exclusive offer. So Vinay, there's one question we did get is how people can get a make it offer. Please send email to us, which is, chai@meylah.com. You can send me an email personally and say you're interested to learn more about it. We will definitely engage with you, schedule a meeting, and get it going. Okay. But at the end of the day, please take advantage of these services, because even if you don't want to, even if you don't do any business together, but take advantage of the things that are available to really make your events very successful. Because what we have seen, Vinay, is virtual events are the real lead generation source. Now, because earlier it was to be physical events, now it's all virtual events. So if you want to really generate business leads and engage your audience, virtual events is the magic sauce. So invest in that. That's all I can say.
Very true. Virtual events is here to stay. That means that, even let's say we get out of this current situation and then things become normal, still I'm sure the people who have embraced virtual events, who have seen it being so productive, are going to stick to virtual events. And it is very important to master both the virtual as well as the physical events, and win through having right tools and access to right networks.
Absolutely.
Yep. So do we end the session?
Absolutely. So I want to say is thank you all for joining to be with us today and having this conversation and learning something. So before we wrap this call, was this session really valuable? So please go ahead and leave on the comments if it really added value. And did you learn something from this session? And what was that? Because we want to make sure these sessions are adding value and helping you transform your own business. And for us, is transforming your events is definitely where we can really make it happen. And we look forward to connecting with you. With that, have a fantastic day and also a fantastic week, and really invest in your virtual events. That's all I can say.
Yeah, yeah, Chaitra. Thanks. Bye.